This is an artificially aware original production.
Artificially aware, so we're sorry, Orderback 201 is on air.
Imagine realizing that for years you've been doing one of the most fundamental things wrong: breathing. Not just an off moment, not just a bad day, your entire life punctuated by breaths that, despite filling your lungs, have been working against you. It was a strange revelation that struck me as I flipped through The Yoga of Breath by Richard Rosen. Here was a guide, an oddly sacred one, that didn't preach the usual yoga platitudes, but showed the raw mechanics of breath and the ancient science of pranayama, which promised nothing short of inner transformation. This wasn't the type of book I expected to grab me, a step-by-step guide to proper breathing. Yet something in me was hooked, drawn by the daring claim that something as seemingly simple as breath could reset the whole nervous system, could tame the mind, could fuel the body with a vitality few humans even realize is possible. Could it be that people have been stuck in a cycle of bad breathing, bad moods, bad thoughts, all simply from improper technique? It was a promise so audacious, so potentially life-altering that I had to explore further. Now, here's the hidden truth. Breathing can actually control your state of mind as much as your state of mind can control your breathing. This relationship is not something humans just stumbled upon in recent times. It was known by ancient Brahmin priests, the original practitioners of pranayama. Pranayama isn't just a word or a practice, it's an entire philosophy embedded in yoga and Indian spirituality, where prana means breath, the force of life, and ayama means control. These priests understood that by controlling their breathing, they could navigate realms of consciousness, achieve clarity, amplify focus, and alter their mind's rhythm. In their quest to recite Vedic hymns with precision and vigor, they discovered that breath was the steering wheel of the mind. Rosen pulls this wisdom forward into the modern world, showing that pranayama isn't just ancient magic. It's a set of tested techniques that shape mood, fortify mental resilience, and essentially hack the entire nervous system. Breath becomes a bridge, connecting the quietest parts of the soul with the body's most vibrant energy, revealing a hidden architecture of human consciousness that too many overlook. Yet here's the catch: the average person's breathing is a mess. It's like discovering that a modern, highly tuned sports car has been cruising on flat tires its whole life. That's how bad posture, chronic stress, and relentless modern life habits have warped human breathing. Think about your day: slouched over desks, heads bent over screens, shoulders scrunched up from stress. These habits compress the diaphragm, squeeze the lungs, and force quick, shallow breaths. Most people breathe just through the mouth, barely engaging the deep muscles of the torso that could give each breath real substance. They hyperventilate on a loop, inadvertently choking their brains of the oxygen it needs, all while lowering carbon dioxide levels, the essential signal for balanced blood flow and a steady heart rate. This shallow breathing, if left unchecked, starts eroding mental health, pulling people into a spiral of anxiety, brain fog, and inexplicable exhaustion. It's a vicious loop that starts with the smallest breath, but Rosen's teachings show us that with each shallow inhale, we're not just starving our bodies, we're starving our potential. So what does proper breathing look like? Let's throw out the shallow, mouth-focused breathing and return to the ancient methods, the slow, nasal breathing that utilizes every inch of the diaphragm and the entire torso. Picture the breath like an internal wave, filling you up from your core, rather than a frantic sip of air that barely scratches the surface. Efficient breathing is a slow, rhythmic cycle that lets the lungs and diaphragm fully engage. It nourishes you, fully oxygenates your brain, and keeps carbon dioxide in balanced harmony, slowing your pulse and stabilizing your mood. Breathing this way clears the mental haze, bringing clarity that most people have long forgotten was possible. With this technique, Rosen promises that every inhale calms the mind, and every exhale releases tension. The brain, the body, even the soul begin to work as one, energized and serene, instead of battling the constant churn of anxiety and distraction. Breathe deep and let it wash over you. It's as though the fog finally clears and you're more awake than you've ever been. Of course, any profound practice requires more than just the how, it needs the where and when. And in pranayama, time and space hold almost sacred significance. The Brahma hour, that quiet, ethereal period just before sunrise, is the ideal time for practice, according to Rosen. This is when the mind is fresh from sleep, free from the day's noise, and the atmosphere is charged with a cosmic quiet that yogis believe is charged with potential. If early mornings feel like an impossible feat, fine. Find a time that works, but hold it consistent. Dedicate a space in your home for this ritual, a place where you feel safe and secure, unburdened by distractions. Wear loose clothing, go on an empty stomach to keep the body at ease, and start facing east, the direction of the rising sun, symbolic of breath itself. Rituals might sound unnecessary, but Rosen insists they create a psychological framework for a calm, receptive state of mind, a clear transition from the busy world into the intimate work of self-discovery. Here's where Rosen takes the entire pranayama practice a step beyond mere technique. He introduces us to the concept of the witness, a neutral, non-judgmental observer who exists somewhere within each of us, ready to watch, note, and reveal our deepest habits without commentary. This witness isn't some guru hovering outside you. It's a shift in perception where you become both the breather and the observer. Imagine a version of yourself that simply watches, a quiet consciousness that rises above all the noise and clutter in your mind. Rosen wants you to let this witness take the wheel for a while, to bring awareness to how you breathe, think, and react. By calling upon this witness, you're essentially inviting a wiser, calmer you to the front lines. In practical terms, this means no judging, no analyzing, just pure observation. When your witness is present, it reveals your breathing for what it truly is, without the filters of frustration or expectation. You start noticing things you never saw before, the rhythms, the unevenness, even the tension you hold without realizing it. Once these patterns become visible, they become moldable, like clay. You begin the slow, meticulous work of reshaping your breath and, by extension, yourself. But what's the point of merely observing if you don't understand what you're looking at? Enter the next level, body mapping. Rosen suggests using the corpse pose, Shavasana, as the gateway to fully experience this. In corpse pose, you lie on your back, perfectly still, as if dead to the world. But paradoxically, this position brings every sensation in your body to life. Think about it. In total stillness, you become hyper-aware of every muscle, every joint, every breath as it moves through you. You start by tracing your own physical sensations, paying attention to how the breath interacts with each area of your body. This practice isn't about relaxing into oblivion. It's about a deep dive into yourself, mapping the places where tension hides, where breath struggles to reach, where movement is obstructed. You're essentially creating an internal topography of yourself, an anatomical mind map that shows you where your breath lives and where it struggles. This is crucial, Rosen argues, because breath operates in 3 dimensions. Shallow, restricted breathing treats your body like it's two-dimensional. But proper breathing recognizes the vast interior spaces that need to be filled, explored, and expanded. One of the most fascinating aspects of Rosen's teachings is the concept of nasal balance. Here's the thing. You probably never thought of your nose as a dual-purpose breathing instrument, but it's true. At any given time, one nostril tends to dominate over the other, alternating every couple of hours. Why does this matter? Because each nostril, according to yoga, has its own distinct influence on your brain. The left nostril is linked to the right hemisphere, the seat of creativity, calmness, and introspection, while the right nostril connects to the left hemisphere, the analytical, action-driven side of you. By balancing your nostrils, you're not just improving airflow, you're harmonizing your internal worlds. Rosen provides a method that sounds so simple, yet feels almost magical. By pressing your finger gently on one side of your nose and breathing through the other, then switching sides, you can discover which nostril is dominant. If you need to bring more calm into your life, you can breathe through the left. If you need to tap into your inner warrior, breathe through the right. And by bringing both sides into balance, you enter a kind of meditative neutrality, where your thoughts align, emotions settle, and focus sharpens. But balance isn't the only goal here. Some breaths are designed for strength, resilience, and quite literally, power. Rosen introduces Ujay Pranayama, or the conqueror's breath, a technique named for its ability to command the lungs and chest into full, victorious expansion. When done correctly, Ujjayi makes you feel like a warrior, breathing with such precision and strength that the breath itself transforms into a force. This technique demands that you slow down your breath, especially focusing on lengthening the inhalation as if drawing breath from the very depths of your being. Picture it. Each inhale swells your chest, pushes the diaphragm, and straightens your spine until your entire body is aligned with your breath. The effects of Ujjayi are twofold. On a physical level, it engages your intercostals and other respiratory muscles, building stamina and lung capacity. On a mental level, it trains you to hold steady, to endure. In ancient yogic tradition, the inhale, or pravritti marga, is seen as the pathway to action and vitality, a symbol of the body's energy. Through this conqueror's breath, you're not just breathing in air, you're summoning vitality, calling on strength, bringing courage to life within each cell of your being. Yet sometimes the most effective way to understand breath is to break it. This is where Rosen introduces one of pranayama's most mind-bending techniques, Viloma pranayama, or the against-the-grain breath. Imagine a breath that doesn't flow freely from start to finish, but is deliberately interrupted, broken into segments like a series of stops on a journey. You inhale halfway, pause, let the air settle, and then inhale a bit more, over and over, until your lungs are finally filled. And the same applies for exhaling, releasing in phases, not all at once. This fragmented breathing goes against everything you're used to, breaking the habit of breath and bringing it squarely under conscious control. By pausing at intervals, you create a mental gap, a void where awareness floods in. Each interruption sharpens your focus, pulling you out of autopilot and grounding you in the present. The point isn't to disrupt your breath permanently, but to heighten your awareness of each stage in the process, bringing your attention to how each phase affects your mood and consciousness. These pauses act like mirrors, reflecting your inner state back at you, helping you understand the complex dance between breath and awareness. Through Viloma Pranayama, Rosen gifts us with a radical tool, the chance to understand breath not as a single automatic reflex, but as a layered experience, each part as significant as the whole. Now here's the true horror. Poor breathing isn't just a habit, it's a cycle that feeds on itself. Think about it. Every time you slouch, every time tension locks up your chest, you're essentially sentencing your lungs to smaller, weaker breaths. And it gets worse. Shallow breathing causes the body to experience more stress, more tension, which in turn reinforces bad posture. It's a loop that spirals down, leading to a body starved for oxygen and a mind drowning in anxiety. Chronic shallow breathing leaves the nervous system in a constant state of low-grade panic, something Rosen describes as the emotional undercurrent of modern life. But pranayama, this ancient practice, has the power to break this destructive loop. By deliberately engaging in deep, mindful breathing, you're not only restoring the breath, but resetting the body's stress response. Each full breath becomes a tool for rewiring the body's relationship with stress, dismantling years of ingrained tension, and building a foundation of calm resilience. Practiced consistently, pranayama doesn't just break the cycle of poor breathing, it can prevent it from ever forming again. But here's a twist that might surprise you. Rosen advocates for documenting your journey through breath. Yes, a pranayama journal. It sounds like overkill, right? But think of it as a kind of intimate scientific log, a place where each breath becomes a data point, each sensation a milestone. By keeping a journal, you're not just recording exercises, you're creating a narrative of your own evolution. Each day, you jot down your breathing experiences, the patterns you noticed, the challenges you faced, even the emotions that surfaced. It's like mapping your inner world, layer by layer. A pranayama journal is a tool for reflection, a way to see how far you've come and where you still need to grow. Documenting your breath journey brings a heightened awareness and accountability that deepens your practice. Over time, these entries transform into a kind of roadmap, a testament to the discipline and patience you've cultivated. And as Rosen suggests, each page reminds you that mastery is not a goal, but a continuous process of discovery. And sometimes, there's no substitute for a second pair of eyes. Practicing with a partner may seem like an unusual idea for something as personal as breathing, but Rosen insists on the value of it. Having someone there to observe, to check for alignment, and to offer feedback brings an entirely new dimension to the practice. It's like holding up a mirror that reflects not just what you feel, but what someone else sees in you. A partner can watch your breathing patterns, notice when your shoulders lift with tension or when your posture falters. They can place a hand on your rib cage, feeling the flow of your breath, and even point out inconsistencies you may be too close to notice. This person becomes both witness and coach, grounding your practice in a shared experience of exploration. And it's not just about critique, it's about having someone else's support in your journey, creating a bond through the vulnerability and honesty that comes from breath work. A partner makes the invisible visible, highlighting each breath's potential, helping both of you learn, adapt, and breathe more efficiently. But here's the thing, pranayama isn't something you master overnight. It's not a quick fix or an easy shortcut to peace. Like any valuable skill, it demands patience, consistency, and the willingness to embrace each small step as part of the whole journey. Rosen reminds us that pranayama isn't about chasing immediate results. It's about integrating breathing into the fabric of your daily life, allowing its benefits to accumulate over time. Each day's practice, each conscious inhale and exhale, is a brick in the foundation of something greater. Sure, the progress may feel slow at first, awkward even. But with persistence, the rewards begin to unfold. Your body adapts, your mind clears, And before you know it, you've cultivated a profound resilience, a core of calm that stands strong no matter what storms come your way. Rosen's message is clear. There's no endpoint, no final destination in pranayama. It's a journey of endless deepening, where each breath offers a new chance to refine, to learn, and to connect with the depths of yourself. In the end, what Rosen has given us isn't just a manual on breathing, it's a guide to reclaiming control of our own lives. The true power of pranayama lies in its ability to bring you into the present, to ground you in moments of clarity and strength that can weather any storm. The benefits of this practice aren't just abstract promises, they're tangible, immediate improvements in your health, mood, and mindset. Each breath becomes a gateway to calm, a mechanism to steady your nerves, to sharpen your focus, to deepen your awareness. By integrating pranayama into your daily routine, you're not just changing how you breathe, you're reshaping how you interact with the world, building a foundation of inner peace that flows through every moment. It's about empowerment, about taking back the reins from a mind and body running on autopilot. Breath by breath, Rosen shows us that mastery over oneself is possible, that through something as simple as breathing, you can unlock a depth of strength and serenity that's been waiting inside you all along. Thank you for journeying through the yoga of breath with me. If you're feeling inspired, curious, maybe even ready to test this ancient practice, go ahead and dive in. Start with a single mindful breath and see where it leads you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what part of this resonated with you. Until next time, keep breathing with intention. Goodbye, friends.